Today, I would like to share with you about this living in the AI era. I know nowadays everybody is talking about AI. AI, this words, this phrase actually was actually coined there was actually a conference, a workshop in Dartmouth College in 1956. So it has been actually started from there, and at that time people were trying to see that how they can use computers to simulate artificial intelligence. So over so many years, it has gone through ups and downs, and various fields of AI. Until recently, I think through one discipline or one branch of this AI that simulate how our brain works, show some great improvements. Okay, for example, with the ChatGPT, Gemini, and then and it is easily available for people to use. Then we start realizing that AI is actually within us. It is actually coming, and it's going to affect us more. Okay, so I have the opportunity to teach a subject called AI 20 years ago. But within these 20 years, a lot of improvements had gone through, and today I would like to share with you about living in the AI era. Because I'm actually from an education institution, for my focus will be also based on learning, and then see how we can actually also extend it to living as well. Okay, now, so as you know, I think in our living, learning is something very important. Okay, because every day we experience new things, we learn new things and all that. And AI also is learning every day. Every single question we ask to ChatGPT or Gemini, they are also collecting some information for us. They are also knowing what we are actually together in the whole world. We are training it to be more human, like for them to actually gather more information for us. So learning is actually core in all kinds of these AI activities. But we know that in the world, there are learning theories, there are many types of learning theory about how we can actually shape ourselves more, how do we develop ourselves more. But basically, if you look at all those learning theories and the original purpose of education is basically very simple, which is actually, original purpose is towards lifelong learning and loving kindness. What does that mean? If you ask all the parents, what do they want their children to be in future? They always say that, I hope that my children to be well, healthy, and happy. Am I right? This is very simple. But how to achieve that one? So basically, when they were young and they are growing up, normally one thing is actually they have to know how to actually develop this lifelong learning habit. They are eager to learn, so that they continue to pick up new knowledge. They continue to actually move on from primary school, secondary school, to high school, and then university, and then after that, in the workplace, they need to continue to learn. So lifelong actually learning habit is very important. But if they continue to do this lifelong learning, continue to develop themselves to be an expert in this field, or to be able to actually climb up the ladders, corporate ladder, become CEO and all that. But if they do not have kind hearts, they may do wrong things. They may do illegal things. So at the same time, while it is moving upwards, it should also moving kindwards. I quote this word. That means we have to develop that, so that because we know that for him, for her, for our children, or for all of us who live in this world, human interactions and relations are very, very important. Are very, very important. In fact, how they can continue to progress in their career or in life depends on how they deal with people. So this kind of kind interactions for them to offer help to others, and then later when they face challenges, they will actually assistance from others. This is in fact very, very important. Very, very important. So if you look at this one, in fact, the original intentions of education about going upwards and also going more kindness and all that is very critical and very essential. According to a research by Harvard University's professors, they have started it 80 over years ago. 80 years, and is continuing until now. During that time, they gather about 400 of students from Harvard universities, and then another 200 students from the areas where they have actually poor people and all that. And since then, every day, this professor actually conduct research and then interview them about their status of education, status of living, the marriages status, children, and other things, and all together until they are actually late 80s, 90s, until they pass away. They are now continuing their research on the next generation. According to this research, after 80 over years of training, they found out that their ultimate question is, what will people think that they have a good life over the years? And the simple answer is actually, regardless of where they are, which position they held, and all that, and how wealthy they are, and all that, the most important thing is actually, all those who think that they have a good life, they have been very rewarded, they think that they appreciate it very much, and all that, are always those people that have good relations. That have good relations. And that good relation doesn't mean that they have to be good to everybody, because sometimes people's focus may be different. There are some people that they dedicate themselves to the organization, to the NGO, to, like in this case, Buddhist associations and all that. And they feel that they have something fulfilled. They actually treasure, they actually value this kind of relation. There are some people who have good family relationship. They think that all this while they have been actually having a good life by having good family. Okay, and some of them may be a close relationship between friends and other things. So the study shows to us that being human, in fact, how do you feel that you are actually appreciated, you have a good life? Very important thing is these relations. So while in terms of the education, when we are thinking about how to actually educate our children, to let them learn more and more, at the same time, we need to develop themselves, to have the character that they are willing to help themselves, help the family, help others, and contribute. And in long term, once they have these good relations, they will be able to have even a better life. Okay, so I know that some of you actually send your children here to study Dhamma class. In fact, this is actually very good, because they help them to develop from young. They actually start developing this kind heart, and this is very important from the education point of view. Sometimes people say this may be even important than their academic results. Okay, now we move on. So in terms of technology renovation, we are experiencing a different world now. This time of digital revolution and AI era and all that actually totally transform what we are experiencing in the past. During the agricultural revolutions or industrial revolutions, we know that there are new technology created. And these technologies and all that will help us to maybe produce goods faster, deliver the goods faster and all that, and better and all that. But all these are dependent on the material. If you want to transfer, for example, you want to sell one bottle of mineral water from here to, let's say, Japan, all the water molecules of the mineral water have to be transferred there to Japan. Then only they can drink it. All materials, all atoms, molecules, and all that. But in the digital world, it's based on our imagination. As long as information is transferred, you are able to come up with good services and products as well. So it totally opens up the new realm where in the past, no human race has gone into. So that's why now we are actually living in two worlds. One is our physical world, the other one is actually the social media. And sometimes the behavior in these two worlds may be different also. Okay? So if you look at this one, and you think about why this impacts so much, and why AI era is something that is really transforming us. Imagine, in the Stone Age, when human being actually created or used stones and others to be the tools for them to help them, that is the first time that people start using other things to ask something external to help them in their work. And then we have the inventions of view, we have inventions of language, we have actually all these revolution, industrial and agricultural revolutions. All these actually help us in improving our lives and also help us in replacing some of the labor work we need to do. Labor. AI, the coming of AI is the first time that we are having somebody or something to help us in terms of our intellectual work. So we are now actually moving into the new era. And if you look at this chart, I think you can show that the first column and second column, basically it shows the period and revolution. And the third column, it shows the driving power. Since agriculture and to the third industrial revolution, you have the labor, steam engine, electric engine, and information engine. These are driving power. And during that time, if we look at the fifth column, resources for creating wealth has changed from land, coal, natural mineral, and then petroleum, and then to knowledge. You see, why I say knowledge? Because, for example, you look at Grab. The Grab knows that there's a demand for transport. And they know that there's a supplier. By having this knowledge, they create wealth. Same as Lazada and Shopee. They know there's a demand, there's a supply, they connect you with their knowledge. Okay? So this is actually what we experience in third industrial revolution. And you look at the last column, human resource, the requirement of human resource is from slave, labor worker initially until now the knowledge worker. You can see over the centuries, the need for the workforce has actually changed. We demand more and more knowledge workers. I mean, workers who are able to actually process or who are able to use knowledge. But now the fourth industrial revolution will actually require even higher. Knowledge itself is not only enough. Because why? From our handphone and all that, we can access to the information all the time. So if you are a walking encyclopedia in the past, you may be very useful. But now, people with the handphone, they can always check. In fact, now it is more difficult is that you have a lot of information and you don't know which one is true, which one is false. Right? So now we need, it's not just at the knowledge level. We need somebody with intelligence who knows how to differentiate what is the right information, what is the wrong information. And in addition to this one, you need it to be not just as intelligence level, but at the wisdom level, to know what is good, what is not good, what is right, what is actually wrong. That is actually very important. So, in the fourth industrial revolution, we think that we need knowledge workers with these two characteristics. Okay, the first one is actually there must be somebody with growth mindset, including our children as well. Growth mindset. Growth mindset refers to the thinking, the mindset that they believe that they can be better. They can be better. They are willing to learn new things. They are willing to look at the challenges and overcome it. They are willing to actually learn and solve the problem. Growth mindset. Upwards. Remember, I mentioned upwards. Okay? Then the other one is empathy. Empathy. Because why? Nowadays, unlike the old days, in the old days, we watch the same television programs. We read the same newspaper. We go through the same kind of curriculum. But nowadays, every day we are receiving our own unique supply of information. So, in the workforce, when you talk to the young generations and all that, you found out that the new situation is changing, is coming. Meaning, you find out that when you ask, in fact, many people have different opinion. Because in their neuron network, they have been actually seasoned or they have been actually learning different things Of course, they can be more creative, but it is a world that we need more understanding. Empathy is very, very important nowadays. Empathy. Okay? So that is towards kindness. Okay? Awareness towards kindness. Okay? Now, so by knowing all this one, let's look at it about the life in AI era. If you look at this one, this was actually this concept of life 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. This concept was coined by Professor Tegmark of MIT. Basically, life 1.0 are those living organisms, all the animals and plants on this earth that actually use the gene to transfer their knowledge to the next generation through the process called evolution. Okay? And then, but human being has moved on to life 2.0 because we created language. And because of language, we are able to actually transfer our knowledge, not through gene or whatever, but through our classroom, through our teaching and learning, we can transfer our knowledge to our colleagues, our students and all that. And that's why there is actually this rapid development of technology, and slowly we become the dominant species on this earth. Okay, life 2.0. But I'm saying that I'm adding something to this concept. I'm saying that in fact, we are not just living in this physical world. We have created a life 2.1a, digital human world and social media, where it's totally different. Totally different, and inside there, information and language and also information and knowledge are being transferred there as well. Okay, then in fact, with the AI era, we expect that to coexist with us, there will be life 2.1b AI. AI robots and in future, they will have their own community as well. They may have their own leaders. They communicate through all the internet and all that. They might develop their own world as well. Now, let us look at this one. If you look at life 1.0 and life 2.0, in fact, recently there was a big battle or war. Even I would say that is a war, okay, between life 1.0 and life 2.0. What was it? COVID virus. COVID virus is the war between life 1.0 and life 2.0. The virus belongs to life 1.0. The human being refers to life 2.0. So, because we actually know we can transfer knowledge, so right away when this one spread, we inform the whole world. And we know that we have to wear masks, we have to be isolated, and so we control the situation, the spread of the virus. And then later we even come up with vaccine that help us to secure or to be actually be immune to all this virus. So in this war, the first battle we won. Am I right? So we are back to normal. But why I say it's only the first battle, the virus has become smart. It becomes less harmful. It becomes easier to actually infect others. So now it is going to coexist with us. So you can see in fact now all the variants is actually in this world. And people say that it's like the flu the flu virus. You actually be in coexistence with the human race. Okay, so the same thing. This is how we deal with life 1.0 and 2.0. There's no what we call the absolute winner. Now the same thing in future in the life 3.0. People believe that with the advance of technology, we can live longer, we can replace our organ, and maybe hopefully we can replace our brain. We don't know. But we will face the challenge of AI life form. So sometimes people call that the human world is actually what we call carbon-based civilization. Because all of us, all the living things and all that, you look at molecules, it includes carbon atom. We are carbon-based civilization. And for all those AI, robots and all that, they use chip, silicon-based. So they are silicon-based civilization. So the same thing, in future, we have to coexist with the AI robots. We have to coexist with AI robots, okay? Next one. Okay, so by knowing all this one, let's look at the knowledge economy. In the knowledge world, as I mentioned to you, having data is no longer just the only thing we need. We need to do data analytics. Then from there, we get information and knowledge. As I mentioned to you just now, in the AI era, because the computers, the AI robots are doing more and more things for us, so we need to increase our level to intelligence, and then further up to wisdom, to know what is right, what is wrong. But at the same time, we found that while we are moving upwards, the importance of moral and ethical education becoming more important, because nowadays scam is everywhere. How do we know? People ask, now video can be generated so easily. How do we know that it's true or not? Now, then it goes back to the moral and also ethics of the person. If you know the person well, and for your life, throughout the whole life, you know that person well, you know that he'll never say something like that one. So when something with the fake video coming up, you know, maybe you have to double check. Okay? So the video and all these things, maybe the fake video, maybe can actually cheat us for one time, but it will not be able to actually cheat us for throughout the whole, all the time. So again, it shows that the normal moral and ethics of person becomes more important. So right away you know, like for example, how do you detect a fake video? For example, you receive a fake video of your child. You normally can detect it by actually asking some questions that only both of you know. Alright? So if they cannot answer, then you know this may be suspectful. Okay? So that's why these are the ways that we actually think that in the AI era, we need to actually continue to develop ourselves to have intelligence and wisdom, and at the same time, we need to develop more in terms of moral and ethical education. Okay? Now, if we look at learning hierarchy, I would like to actually also share with you. Like for example, for data, the IoT, Internet of Things, that means you put a lot of sensor everywhere, is always collecting the data. So in future, they'll continue. There will be more devices installed, collecting all kinds of data. And then people may say that, okay, this is the thing that I know, but for information level, in fact, we have experienced it by Google. Do you know that Google provides you all kinds of information? The moment you need, you get from Google, okay? And then now, with OpenAI, Gemini, they are actually at a higher level to provide even a reply that looks like a reply from a person, okay? So this is continue to move out. We don't know how far, how high it can go, but for us to live in this world, we need to develop ourselves further. Okay? But remember, nowadays, okay, all these kind of things may also affect us as well. Now, do you go to drive in Kuala Lumpur without using Waze? Going some places, now in the past, we roughly know how to go. But nowadays, more and more people have to depend on Waze or have depend on Google Maps to travel from one place to the other place. So while all these devices, all these apps help us, and then to make our life easier, are we losing our own capability? So people were saying that, who knows, maybe in future AI is so intelligent that we all become very lazy person. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so just like the movie Wall-E, I'm not too sure whether you have watched this movie many years ago. So inside the movie, the future, the left-hand side is the robot that was actually left on Earth to actually start still searching for new life form. But in your upper right corner, you can see this future human being. They become actually lazy in moving, and then in front of them is actually all screen. Then the whole day is watching the social media. This was actually shown in the movie Wall-E. So this is something for us to think about, living in the AI era. Now, knowing all this one, we now actually have to look at it, how we learn. That's how we learn. Okay, for example, Sir Ken Robinson always says that it is very important for us to learn because our neural networks inside our brain is always open throughout the days, open for learning new things. So this curiosity is very important. So in the AI era, there's no actually standard curriculum that can satisfy all the needs. So what we need to do is actually to develop the habit that you want to learn all the time, the curiosity, even among our children, even among ourselves. Okay? So, for example, Sir Ken Robinson mentioned this one. We treat education like industrial manufacturing, when in reality it is closer to organic farming. No, in organic farming, we are now actually moving. It's no longer true that the students actually going through the primary, secondary, and university, then you become actually somebody who can who get a good job and then have a good life. There are many things else to learn. So the school should transform from just a manufacturing of the talents to become a organic talent development farm. Okay, in this organic farm, of course, they will be taught with all the standard curriculum as well, but they will be given opportunity by growing themselves. This is very important, growing themselves, so that the schools can provide all kinds of facilities, guidance, the teacher can give motivations, the school can have a good system, good policy and all that, but all to encourage each one of them to develop themselves, to grow on their own. Because in future world, things happen so fast. Whatever we teach in the curriculum no longer valid for the future world. We never know. If you ask me 5 years down the road, what will be the new technology? No, I think even scientists also don't know. Even scientists don't know because now there are scientists start using AI to do research already, and that may be very fast, the development and all that. So it actually starts moving to this direction, meaning that while we can have our system, we can have our classes to actually teach the students and all that, but we need to actually now provide an environment, of course, safe environment, for them to actually be able to develop their own curiosity, wanting to learn, develop lifelong learning. Okay, I remember last year or the year before, I visited, I went to Singapore. I met with the president of National University of Singapore. They say that now they actually all look at how to develop the students to become lifelong learners. Because that is the key word, lifelong learners. Okay, so knowing about this one, now let us look at the Silicon Valley. A lot of time people ask, why is it that Silicon Valley is so full of creativity? Okay, now you look at Silicon Valley since 1970 something, in the old 1950, like it started 1950, it has gone through a few era of innovation. From the first wave where they actually do a lot of things for defense, and then integrated circuits, then personal computer, then internet, then social media, and now it's actually AI, artificial intelligence. Going through all these years, you can find out Silicon Valley has gone through ups and downs. Ups and downs. But how is it possible that it can continue to come up with new innovation? It is because in Silicon Valley, they have this ecosystem of talent development with growth mindset. Because to them, failure is just an experience. They are willing to learn to continue to pick up on that part. So nowadays, sometimes we are also being parent, we sometimes also being a bit kanchong. We want to prepare, we want to plan everything for our children. But in reality, as we know from Dhamma teaching, everything is based on dependent originations. It is actually based on conditions. Sometimes you never know. Okay, so what is important is actually to always give a chance. Okay, for them to have this growth mindset. If they have the growth mindset, maybe today they love this subject. Next time they can apply this growth mindset in other areas they are interested and develop themselves. Okay, so this growth mindset was actually suggested or proposed by Professor Carol Dweck of Stanford University. If she actually like to compare these two kinds of mindset. One is fixed mindset. These are the people who say that I'm that smart. For example, maybe in the primary school, they manage to get full A's. Okay, when it goes to actually secondary school, the result becomes not so good. Then some students may think that I'm only as good at primary school level. But in reality, for those with growth mindset, they know that maybe now they put less effort. They were so confident they put less effort. If they put more effort, they will be able to grow better. Okay, so Professor Dweck has actually done many research in this area, and she found out that for those people with growth mindset or being taught about having this growth mindset, they can actually see improvements in the learning. So sometimes she also advised something. Maybe I just share with you. When our children maybe they manage to get good results. Okay, for example, we normally like to actually congratulate them, say that, congratulations, you are very smart. Right? Congratulations. Professor Dweck suggests us to use a different approach. Because why? She said that if you tell them that they are smart, that's why they receive this good result. In future, if they get not so good result, what will they conclude? I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart. And this smart is actually related to fixed mindset. Okay, so she will suggest that this way. Congratulations, okay? You see, you have put in the efforts and you managed to get this good result. Okay, so in future, if if our children do not get good result, they can conclude that maybe because I didn't put in enough efforts. Not something limited by the brain capability or whatever. It's because of effort. And you know in this world, although you have talents, but you must put in efforts. Am I right? You must put in effort. In fact, efforts is the driver, the motivator and all that. So that is what Professor Dweck actually suggested. And in terms of empathy, like for example, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella mentioned that you can go to the internet, you can see many articles he actually wrote. Is tying about the needs of the future world and also empathy. They say innovation comes from having a deep sense of empathy. Why? Because innovation, you always have to come up with new services and new products. But if your intention of new services and products are to earn money, this will not touch people's heart. But if you think from the people's point of view, you find that this is something they need because of empathy, then normally your innovation will be something really useful to them. Then the same thing, Tim Cook, the Apple CEO, he always say that he was saying this one at MIT during a commencement exercise. He said that he urged the graduates to use their minds, hand and heart. He said that a lot of people like Apple products, but they may think that this is because of the technology, because of the design. But Tim Cook mentioned, no, the most important thing is because of the heart. They like to actually give a good experience to their customer because they care, because of empathy. So from here you can see that growth mindset and empathy, these are the two things very important in the AI era to drive not just our children but also ourselves. So willing to come to listen to Sunday Dhamma talk and all that is also growth mindset. So congratulations to all of you. Okay, and then doing dana and all that is also a showcase of the empathy. So how real are challenges of robots and AI? Now you can see that the lower left corner, this is the robot from Boston Dynamics. It is running like human being. It can do jumping up and down and all that. It's very agile. Okay, so just consider combining this robot and the AI. Very soon, maybe 5 years down the road, you may have actually AI robots in this hall, listening to Dhamma. Maybe they also want to learn. Okay, some people may say, well, I didn't see any robot nowadays. But this can happen over the night. Before November 2022, who knows about ChatGPT? And now everybody is using. Okay? So just imagine if standing on my right is actually Albert Einstein. How long will the human world need to produce or to nurture another Albert Einstein? Many years, I don't know. Okay? But if now standing on my left is the world's most intelligent robot, how long does it need for us to produce more of this? As long as you have money, resources, factories, you can produce a lot of them. If they are good, you can produce 100,000, 200,000, and then in a short while, within a few months, you can see many of them in this world. Okay? So, we don't know, but we think that it's coming soon. We don't know how soon. But in China, as you know, maybe you can see some of the video, they are already integrating this one with the humanoids, the artificial with the humanoids. And we are not dealing with only one, you know. We are dealing with swarms of robots. So, and all those robots may not come in a human form. It can be like small dogs and cats. It can be actually small flies, bees, mosquitoes and all that. Who knows? All this is possible. Now if you go to China, for example, you go to Guangzhou, you go to Fuzhou and all that, you can already order things through drones delivery. You can order through drone delivery. So sometimes people say, maybe in future, because if you stay in condominium, in future you must make sure that there's the window can open one. Because the drone can deliver goods to you through this one. Who knows? Because now they are testing this one in China, the taxi, the drone taxi. So who knows, maybe in future, you depart from your platform, your own platform, your balcony, you depart for work. You never know. I know very sure is that actually in China, some city, they have already planned for what they call 低空经济, lower space economies, meaning that just above their ground level here, maybe from here up to maybe 100 meters, okay, they are already lining up, designing the traffics, the highways and all that. So in future, all these drones and all that, or all these taxi and also our own drones-based car will travel up there. They are not planning, you know. They actually show me the planning, how all this done. So in future, up there will be highways and all that. Okay, so interesting. So knowing all these technologies and all that, now I want to actually touch a little bit on our brain, because by knowing more about our brain, then we know how the AI works, and we know how to face it, how to live with it. Okay? No, our neurons, every one of us in our brain, more or less the same. We have about 100 billion neurons. 100 billion. And each neuron is connected to 1,000 over other neurons, connections. Okay? So all the neuron connections, sorry, I think the word is missing. It should be 100 trillion neuron connections. Sorry, 100 trillion neuron connection. The word has been actually blocked, okay? So all these neuron connections are basically, they record down whatever we have learned since we were young until now. As all the experiences we have gone through, okay, is recorded in our neuron connections. Every day you eat and all that, it is actually in there. In fact, how you change your habit, how you change your pattern is also through the daily changing of your neuron connections and also the strength of it. Okay, I give you one example. How many of you like to eat durian? Yes, all of us lah, maybe. Okay. Now, if now I bring to you a durian which is blue in color, do you like to try? Blue in color. But I tell you, this is fantastic, this is delicious. Then I try it before you, in front of you. I try it, I say, wow, really good. You should try. So you do a little bit of licking and all that. In front of, hey, wow, fantastic. It's different taste and all, it's delicious and all that. Okay? Then after a month, I bring another blue durian to you. Would you like to eat? Of course, right? So it shows to us that every one of us can learn, can change our habits. Okay? Because of neuron connection, we can do it. Okay? The moment when we actually first look at the blue durians, in our existing neuron connection, we think that it's disgusting, it's new thing. I don't know. I better don't touch it for our own safety. But after testing it and all that, you build out new neuron connection, or you actually strengthen the connections and all that, so that you think blue durian is also good. So after 1 month, right away you say, oh, I must buy this one. Okay? So they actually tell us what no? From all this neuron connection, how our brain works, it tells us that we are what we have experienced also. Alright? We are what we have experienced. So by attending Dhamma classes, you learn about doing good deeds to others. Then slowly you change in your neuron connections. Okay? If you, let's say for example, somebody, a lady in red coming in, then this is somebody that you don't like. So because your neuron connection inside there, automatic, look at this one, trigger it. But if after working with her for a while, and sometimes we try or we learn to actually see the good points about her, slowly, you build out new neuron connections and find out that, hey, she's not that bad now. Then after a while, then you can actually work with her. So it is like what we know, how we can actually change our habit, how we can change what we think about this. Okay, now moving to AI, Okay. So this neuron connection, just now the one in the blue, light blue, is one neuron. And all the rest are the neuron connections. So you can see how dense it is, how complex our brain is. Okay? So all this connection, for example, I just give you a very easy example. If this neuron and this, I give you a very, very simple example. By right, in real nature, it's not that simple. If we say this is an input neuron, this is the output neuron. Okay? Now, initially, is maybe there's a connection, but it's maybe with the very weak connections. Okay? Willing to try durian. Okay? So I bring the blue durian coming in. The neuron connection is very weak because you think that you like to eat durian, but not this kind of durian. Okay? So the answer is, don't want to take durian. But after you taste it yourself, you think that blue durian is also good. So between the input neuron and the output neuron, the link strengthen. Okay? And next time when I bring a new blue durian, you like to eat it. Okay? Because the neuron connection has been strengthened or has been established and all that. So things are just like that. Okay? So later we look at it. So for ChatGPT, let me see. I just want to see whether I have this. Okay. I have it. Okay. For ChatGPT, okay, it is actually done through learning, a lot of learning. GPT 1.0, they actually supply about 1.0, 950 million words and 11,000 books for it to learn. Okay? And the million parameters there, 120 million parameters, the parameters refers to the value of the strength of the neuron connection. Because they try to model how we actually think, okay? So this million parameter refers to the actually analogy to our human brain connections. And then GPT 2.0 is 1.5 billion parameters. and they train you with even more, 45 million web pages. And when they train with 45 million web pages, they found out in GPT 2.0, when you ask questions, sometimes the answer can be actually displayed in very rude words, in the internet. So they actually set up a team of people to actually tell ChatGPT, to train ChatGPT manually what is more human, what is not suitable, to make it more human. Okay? So, and then GPT 3.0 is 175 billion parameters. They train over 570 gigabyte of text database with 400 billion words and all that. So, it is actually, ChatGPT is basically like us, our neural network. When we were young, we actually learned new things. Then we set up our neuron connections and all that. So, ChatGPT, by learning all this one, it actually update the parameters values inside their network, and that's how it can actually absorb all this knowledge that he has acquired. So the moment we answer them, it is actually from these connections, naturally it leads out to this reply. So it is generative. So it's not copying anything, It is not copying from whatever web page that he learned. Because inside the storage of the ChatGPT, it is not storing every web page. But through the learning process, they actually adjust the parameters value so that the information is recorded through all those connections. So ChatGPT are like us. For example, we don't memorize all the pages and write. If we don't. But through our learning, we set our neuron connection. So the moment something we see, we have the response. It's based on our neuron connections. Okay? So for example, I just give you another example over here. I don't have time to actually translate all the words, but basically some of them is like that. For example, neural networks, artificial neural is like just a new word. The network we can see at the center. I just show you a very simple one. The input layer, output layer, and in between there's some hidden layer. All the line connections are just like our neuron connections. Okay? So the moment, how do we train this network? The moment we actually show this neural network the photo of one cat. Then tell them this is a cat. So it passes through this one, it adjusts the parameter inside there. Maybe the first time is wrong. It still say that this is not a cat. But by doing a few rounds of training, it adjusts the parameter so that it knows this is a cat. Okay, learning. Then you show the neural network another cat, the photo. Put it in, define maybe different color. Then it goes through and adjusts all the parameters. Then finally it can recognize this is also a cat. So the information of the first cat and second cat are now embedded inside the parameters value in the network. So after going through 300 cats, okay, then somehow he is trained, is good enough, then you give you the 301 cats photo. It can already recognize because more of these cats have the same pattern. That is how it trains. Then after training the cat, you train the dogs. Then sooner or later, if you train more and more and more, you put in a lot of knowledge and all that, then with enough complexity, so that enough possibility of combination, it actually can capture the knowledge of human world. That is how it works, basically. Do you understand more now? Just like our brain. Just like our brain, okay? So now if you look at it, you can see that our neurons has about 100 trillion neuron connection. And GPT-4 is actually approaching 100 trillion parameters. So now they are actually as good as us. Because the complexity is about the same as the human brain already. So in this kind of thing, how are we going to actually survive? The carbon civilization and silicon-based civilization. From all the human history, we know that with all the conflicts and all that, is still the best way is actually find a way, a common way that we can coexist. You see, we know cockroaches. It is actually a living thing, exists even before dinosaur. No matter how human world try to extinguish it, we never succeed. Okay? So there are many things in the nature that you find out that it has to coexist. We have to find a way, living in the AI era, to coexist and to adjust to it. Some people may say that, who knows? Because the AI robots, my children has grown up with the AI robots. Now, he actually trusts the AI robot more than the parents. Possible. There may be closer relationship. Who knows? In future, somebody goes to the court and say that, can I marry a artificial intelligent robot? Because it seems that the robot knows him better. Alright? So there's all this possibility. So thinking about AI era, in fact, we have gone through it. This is the second round already, second wave already. The first wave is social media. Social media, whatever you are seeing and all that, the content was pushed to you because of AI algorithm at the back. Okay, so when you see more of these things, then they'll keep pushing all the content to you. So under our not knowing to ourselves, we have been actually influenced. So people were saying, what if the AI algorithm in all these social media was actually hijacked or was actually altered, so that it actually always shows the negative thing to people? Then very slowly, the whole community will feel depression. But if the AI algorithm would like to actually readjust it, so that to always actually show the positive side of human activities, then things will change differently. Okay? So this is how the AI is influencing. But after this social media, the second one is actually the real AI. Because now whatever in the social media, the contents are always created by human beings. But now with the generative AI, they can generate their own content. So if you love this storyline, every day they will continue to generate many stories that you like. So you forever spend time reading, because you like it. But that will also shape our society to be a polarized society. Because why? Now, person A likes to watch this kind of content. So every day she is actually being received, she receives all this kind of info. Person B wants the other kind of thing. So very soon, even a single topic, because of the slight difference of preference, and algorithm will think that this is pro, this is anti. So very soon, they all have different opinions. So you can experience this during this COVID time. There are actually vaccination. One gang promote, but you look at the one that who are against vaccination, they are very strong, in their belief, because every day they are receiving all the information that what is wrong about vaccination. So in future world, this is something. But how do we collect this one? We can, because we must have this self-awareness. We must develop, just like what the Dhamma teaching is there. It's how through all this kind of meditation, you know more about your inner heart. You have this self-awareness. Because with the self-awareness, you say that, wow, you keep on receiving all this info, you say that, no, I must jump out from it. Am I right? Or I've been spending too much time that I actually miss out my sleep. So you know when to stop. This is all self-awareness. So in the AI era, this self-awareness is getting more important. In fact, I would say that in the AI era, we need to do these three things. One is develop our self-awareness. Second is actually develop our self-discipline. And third one is actually to develop our self-learning. Then you can make good use of all these things. So for this kind of thing, what you can do is actually, instead of actually always wait for the media to push content to you. You should from time to time, initiate your own search. Like for example, you like education, but because nowadays they keep pushing other kind of information, entertainment. So you can search education. Then with your search, with your request, you change the algorithm and actually push you more education content. Okay? So this is how we do. We still have ability to change. But how? Self-awareness. So for the children, for the students who are young, they may not actually have this control, self-awareness. So whatever they see has been pushed and then they keep watching this one. So if we say that, no, you cannot use handphone, there will be actually a lot of, okay? But more important is actually how we can actually raise their self-awareness. You say that, okay, now we are watching this Facebook for how long already? Or this YouTube video, how long already? Maybe you can say that now it's actually approaching lunchtime. Maybe you can say that, okay, you watch another 2 videos, then you stop. Then normally the children will agree, 2. Then after 1, 2, and 3rd, 4th, still he does not stop. You just remind him that, remember you say you 1 and 2. Why now it's already 4? Then maybe he will request, Mom, can I see another 2 more? You say, okay, 2 more. Then 2 more. So all this, you are actually raising their self-awareness. Self-awareness is the one, because you can't watch them, you can't monitor them all the time. The moment you stop them from doing it, then next time play games and all that. You have to develop this self-awareness. That they themselves feel that this is their own commitment, this is time for them to stop, and they other things they need to do. Okay, I think time is coming out. Okay, so thinking about AI era, I think the slides I will leave it with the organizer. If you want to get a copy of slide, you just get it from the organizer. These are the 2 very good YouTube documentary I would like to recommend you, and I think everybody should watch it. One is actually about social dilemma. Inside there, they actually give a good documentary about the social media dilemma and also crisis, and how we deal with it. Okay, and the second one is actually AI dilemma. The same theme with the AI coming to the world. They actually recorded another documentary called AI Dilemma. It's very easy. You go to YouTube, you just type social dilemma or AI dilemma, you can see the documentary. I would recommend you to watch it. It applies to every one of us. So from there, in fact, you look. Then we said about what kind of skill we actually need for the AI era. According to Professor Harari, who has actually written all these popular book, bestseller books and all that. So he said that actually there are 2 skills in his book 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. He concluded that there are 2 skills needed for the future. The first skill is adaptability and keep learning. First skill, remember, upwards. The second one, skill number 2, mental balance and emotional intelligence. How to control ourselves, okay? To be kind, to have empathy and all that. In fact, in the recent interviews of him, after COVID, he thinks skill number 2 is more important than skill number 1. Because you may actually continue to learn and all that, but if you cannot control yourself, it's actually going to be difficult. Okay? So if you look at World Economic Forum, you look at the 21st century skill, they actually also mention that we need to have foundational literacy, all this foundation literacy. That means cross-disciplinary, you need to have the knowledge of all this one to survive, okay? And the middle block, they say competency, the 4C, critical thinking, collaborations, communications, and creativity. Okay, so these 4 C's are actually very important because these are what we call transferable skill, and some skills that you can carry from job to job, from one experience to the other experience. And all this can be trained when they were young, don't need to wait until they are in the university. Okay, and these 4 skills will help them to overcome all the challenges in their career and also in their life. In their life, they may have the family may have the first baby. How to handle it? How to actually stay overnight to take care of baby and all that? How to overcome all the other things? As long as they have this critical thinking, communication, they are willing to seek for help, collaborations, and creativity. And on the right hand side, the blue block is about character building, curiosity, initiative, and all that. And then even for OECD countries, they also say that in future, 2030, what they want is actually a learning compass. Everybody should develop a learning compass. Basically, they are saying that a direction. And that direction, as what we mentioned just now, upwards and continue to be kind, empathy, development. These are the things. Or you can see all those major organizations, they are actually telling us the same story. Okay? And of course, we have to know about what is important and urgent. For example, having good score, good result in every term may be something urgent. Alright? But what's more important is actually whether our students, our children develop the habit of lifelong learning, whether they love to learn or not. Okay? So a lot of times when we see the children or students are growing and all that, we have to think about this. Is the one that he is achieving, the one that she is actually developing, is it something just for urgent, just for this assignment, just for this test, just for this achievement, this award or whatever? Or is it something that build out their capability, their passion, lifelong learning, which is important in long run? And whether in this exercise or fail in the sport event, never mind, because it developed the skills of the 4C, and fail, never mind. Encourage him or her to actually to try again, and that is actually the ability to be resilient. So every single activities our children join and all that are chances for them to learn, full with hopes, and everything you look at it from this point of view, you can see that it is all important long term. All important long term. So get them. Sometimes you may say, "Oh, his result always not so good." We are worried. But if the person has this habit or passion of learning, and has kindness, willing to help others, long term should not be any problem. Long term should not be, because every class they can only have one number one. But every class you can train them to be a lifelong learner and with empathy. You look at it, just like in every we are in the industry. Every team of us, if you just look at achievement, sales achievement, there can be only one number one. But you can have all the teams actually willing to actually do better and willing to actually work together. That is more long-term goal. So that's why learning of heart is very important in the AI era, because it now goes more and more, because a lot of intellectual things and all that the AI things can do, but what they cannot do is actually they don't have body, they don't have heart, they don't have feelings like us. No. So for example, I give you one example, because people are saying that, what if the AI actually take over my jobs? I actually give a simple example. Now, if you ask the AI to generate poster, advertisement poster, you see, the AI generate 10 poster, very nice poster, all of them. Now, which poster should you choose? The AI can't choose for you, no. Because you know the market well. You know the feeling of people now. AI may say this is fantastic, this is the best design technically, but you look at it, you say that no, this is the man not suitable. You understand what I mean? So you still need to have this human touch in the world. Now, of course, in the AI era, there are also increasing mental challenges. I'm going faster. Mental challenges. So according to Professor Richard Davidson, the 4 challenges faced by society is distractibility. This is number 1, easily distracted. Watching movie, You can see, you can check the handphone many times. Distractibility. In fact, this is the main problem, distractibility. If you can be more focused, you can see your life become more simple. And then loneliness, negative self-talk and depression, and loss of meaning and purpose in life. Now, Professor Richard Davidson and Professor and Nico, Daniel Goleman, both of them, they were Harvard University PhD student before, and they went to India to practice meditation. So these are the researchers that they think that it's time that we encourage how to cultivate our mind, very important. Later to share you more. So they recently came out with a new book called Altered Traits. From the fMRI images, from the brain signals and all, they found out, in fact, it is possible for us to change our neuron connection. They found out that metta meditation, okay, just a simple metta meditation, meaning that at night, you actually wish everybody to be well and all that. Just like that one can help to improve the network connection in your brain for the enhancement of empathy very fast. So very fast, the person will develop kindness. They also find out that going through some 30 hours of mindfulness training, it can improve, it can lower down the activity of your amygdala, your emotional brain by 50%. So you can be actually less affected by emotional fluctuation. Just by having mindfulness training of 30 hours. So just now the MC was saying about all this meditation, retreat and all that. Most welcome, most encouraged to participate. Because there's scientific evidence. You go to this book, inside his book, he actually show all the evidences, latest scientific research that show us. And many things, many things. Even like Nobel laureate Professor Blackburn, who actually got the Nobel Prize because of the discovery, the effect of telomere, which affects how your cell actually dies and how you can actually have longer life, longevity. She actually found out that by having a more vegetative, more fresh veggie, fruits, life kind of diet, more exercise, good sleep, and also meditation can actually prolong your longevity. This is done by Professor Blackburn, the Nobel laureate. So there are many research in the world now, especially in this area, are showing many things that we are doing now that shows the benefits of it. Okay, next. So we are always distracted by many things, but sometimes we should pay attention to our own attention. And we always contact people through internet and social media. Please remember sometimes to call your inner self. Is to share. And Daniel Goleman, you see, he is famous for the book Emotional Intelligence. He is famous for emotional intelligence. And when the smartphone was introduced to the world, he wrote another book, Focus. He said in the smartphone era, the most important is actually to focus. Bring back your, so that you are not distracted. And the latest book is what I call Altered Trait. You can find it in the internet, popular bookshop and all that. Very good book, okay, because of the time. And two Harvard professors has also done the research. They found out that a wandering mind is an unhappy mind. You search the internet, you just put Harvard wandering mind, then you find the article. Basically, they are saying that they do the interview and all that, find out that when we are actually not focusing on what the things we do now, we are less happy. But if every moment you focus on what you are supposed to do with less distraction, you find more fulfillment, you'll be more happy. Okay, this is the research finding for Harvard professor. So important is focus. And when you focus and all that, you reach the state called flow. Remember sometimes you are focusing on doing certain things, time flies so fast. You were in the flow state. Okay, so remember, Okay, next. Then, and with neuroplasticity, everybody can do lifelong learning. I've mentioned this one. Because formation of inner world is every day, whatever you receive through your five senses. Okay, and so just like babies. When they learn, they experience all that, they become different person with different characters. Just like our handphone. For example, now I'm giving all of you a new handphone. Inside there, all content the same. After 1 month, all of you come back. All different. So how you want your life to be, it depends on how you train your handphone. Right? How you train handphone. So how you want yourself to be is how you actually train yourself every day. What kind of information you receive, what kind of experience you want. Actually, all this is our own deeds. How you shape ourselves. Okay? Next one. So in future, there are many challenges. Okay? AI is just one wave of technical challenge. Okay? In future, there are also nuclear fusion, metaverse, and other things which will actually transform our lifestyle, transform our world. So when we are facing all these kind of wave coming in the ocean, what you need is actually the ability to swim. The ability to swim is not just based on knowledge. You're not swimming, you cannot just learn by scoring A's. You need to really learn how to swim. So you then by learning how to swim, that means you have to continue to develop, to learn. Then you can overcome the challenges of those waves. And inside the ocean, not only ourselves is there. There are a lot of people there. So together with the efforts of everybody, we can overcome with all the waves coming in. Okay? So just like Charles Darwin said, whoever who can actually be safe to change, they can survive. Okay? So if you look at this level education, a lot of time we may be focusing on the lower level, meaning that the education for earning a living. But actually, education itself, more important, is actually about not just about living, but it also includes education for education for survival and work, and then education for living, meaning that it's basically how you appreciate the culture, how you appreciate a cup of coffee, how you actually appreciate a wonderful time you have spent, and also finally about life education. Okay. And just like this iceberg, whatever we see in the surface of the water level is not enough. Beneath that, a lot of things we need to develop in our inner heart.